So I threw it out there for people to tell me their fears, to share their deepest things that keep them up at night about the Minnesota Vikings. And no surprise from this fan base, guys, I got a ton of responses from
Really?
people. Yes.
What?
So I want to start out with the biggest themes of what is frightening Vikings fans at this moment. And the biggest one is the two guards. That right now, the Minnesota Vikings have no guards. They have draft picks in the first and second and third round and beyond. They have no money to work with in the salary cap. Nick Easton might just be like on hold, waiting for days and days. Like,
think about that for a second.
Just hold on, buddy. We'll get you some. We'll get some
Nick
salary
Easton
cap
on hold.
Right. Yeah.
Like, if you have to put Nick Easton on hold, what type of salary cap hell have you created for yourself?
So I guess in going through these, I want to figure out which one of these are realistic fears and which ones people should not be that afraid of.
The guards is definitely a realistic fear, right? That makes sense.
Yes.
Okay.
100%.
All right.
What do we even think the solution for the guards is?
It's got to be, at least one of them's got to be in the draft, right?
Has to.
It's got to be.
Riley Reef.
I was going to say, or you're moving Riley Reef over there.
Tackle.
You know, the problem with this is even if they move Everson Griffin today, or they cut Everson Griffin today to create his cap space, or if they traded Trey Waynes away to use his cap space, there's no one left to sign. That when you look through all the guards that would have been an actual upgrade to Tom Compton and Mike Remmers, those guys are already off the board.
When you're done with fears, we need to talk about the Griffin philosophy.
Well, you're hitting on another big fear that people have sent me.
Like, this makes no sense.
Mike Zimmer has strong-armed the front office into keeping all these defensive players, so now they once again can't build an offensive line.
Day 4, Vikings held hostage by defensive head coach.
Well, is that legit?
Yes.
That's a legit fear for you guys.
Yes, because I don't know what they're doing. Well, it seems to me, logically, all of the things that we talked about when this free agency period or the open tampering period was about to start, logically, I don't think any of us went down the road that they were going to ultimately bring back Anthony Barr. And offensively now, and it's not just the line, it's the third receiver, it's other things.
No, they have big plans for Laquan Treadwell.
Nothing's been addressed. So yes, I think it's a logical fear to wonder if the head coach's emphasis is so strongly on defense that he's basically told these guys offensively, do what you have to do, but I'm not giving up guys that I value.
See,
that's how it seems.
What they're doing on some level makes sense to me, because going into the offseason, we all assumed that they were going to lose Anthony Barr. We were talking about it as though it was a foregone conclusion for weeks on this station. And the closer it got to them actually losing Anthony Barr, I looked at the reality of it, and you were going to lose Sheldon Richardson. That was a done deal. Everson Griffin, I don't think any of us wanted to bring him back, Anthony Barr or not, at the price tag that he's currently at. And if you let Barr walk as well, you've lost 3 of your 4 best players on your front 7. And I think they looked at it and they went, look, Mike Zimmer is a defensive genius, but can we really afford to do that? And they decided we either have to pay Griffin at the current price tag that we have him and keep him, or bring back Anthony Barr. And they chose Anthony Barr. And I don't know about you guys, but I can't really take issue with A, the decision to not let all 3 of those guys walk away, and B, if you're going to choose one of those 3 guys, to choose Anthony Barr.
The only problem then comes back to, why is Griffin still here right now?
Well, they're working on that.
And I disagree. I do not believe that, as we sit here right now having this discussion, the loss of the Everson Griffin that he's become at 31 now is that big of a deal.
He's still one of your 3 best players on your defensive front 7, or one of your 4 at least.
Hunter, better for sure. Linval, front 7, better for sure.
You would put Linval Joseph ahead of him after one down year.
Oh, yeah. Yeah,
Okay.
I think Joseph's extremely talented.
I also don't think it's a regular down year. I mean, this is a down year where he had to miss 5 games for an off-field thing. And when you're 31 years old, a down year could mean a down career. Now, to your point about Anthony Barr being replaced. I did write at our website for Mike Zimmer's defense, it's a good move because of how versatile Anthony Barr is. The price tag is a lot. And I looked back at the games where they played Eric Wilson, who's not considered like a starting player, an undrafted guy who played on special teams his first year. The games where he played, not all of them were filling in for Anthony Barr. One was for Eric Kendricks. Against Detroit in a 24-9 win, the 25-20 loss in Chicago, in which the defense played very well, but there was a pick six involved. Then the win over Detroit 27-9 toward the end of the season, and the final game against Chicago, the loss 24-10, in which they had held the Chicago offense down until the fourth quarter. They were not destroyed by having Eric Wilson in there instead of Anthony Barr. And that's the thing with Zimmer and his ability to call plays and scheme up defenses is last year they had a lot of things go wrong. Holton Hill had to play. He wasn't supposed to play at all. Mike Hughes was lost for the season. They missed Linval Joseph for a game. They missed Everson Griffin for 5 games. And yet they finished 4th in the league in defense. And I'm not saying that his play calling alone could overcome anything, but I think if they don't nail it in the draft with a guard or a tackle and find somebody else too, whether it's Nick Easton or a scheme fit guy that's down the board that fills in this spot, we're going to be doing the same dance we were last year when we kept saying, hey, Will Hernandez looks good, right? I mean, it has that same feeling that we're going to be saying to ourselves, yeah, you know, Anthony Barr is really good, but they can't block anyone on the interior. And Akeem Hicks and Kenny Clark and Mike Daniels just ate you to death.
But you had the 4th best defense in the league last year, and you probably want to keep it that way. You're not going to be able to do enough on offense to make that the strength of your team and make up for enough of the losses on defense that you'll take a big step forward as an organization.
Well, you can't now. You can't now take those steps forward to be good enough offensively. But the question will be, could you have?
I don't think they could have.
So